So in the improve step is in this step uh, we devise methods to improve the process based on the outputs from the measure and analyze steps. So the based on the uh, information and the outputs of the previous two steps, which were measure and then analysis, based on those measurements we have to devise methods which can possibly improve the process. So developing of a solution to the existing problem for which we were hired or we were given this assignment to provide a solution to improve the system, we have to develop a solution for that in this process. So, and we have to perform a pilot test on the solution that we are going to devise. That means that once we have devised a method, we have to perform a pilot test in order to ensure that this provided solution or the solution that we came up is really working. And this pilot test is called as confirmation experiment. Means we will perform an experiment in order to test the solution that we have provided or that we have devised for the uh, requested or for the anticipated or for the desired improvement in the system. So we will test it and confirm if it is working or not. The tools that can be useful in this step are redesigning, mistake proofing of operation, and design experiments. So redesigning in the redesigning we can we can find help using flowcharts and value stream maps. These are the different types of graphs and maps that we preparing while doing some statistical analysis. These are very helpful in visualizing the trends of the data. That is why in all of the steps wherever we collect information and measurements, we use these for visual input. So we observe the data visually and we can get better idea of what is going on through these visual aids or the visual representation or the graphical representation of the data. These are really helpful, and different types of charts are helpful for different types of datas and trends. And then mistake proofing of operation means that the operation will devise such a procedure for the operation that it can be done only through the devised process only. Means it can be done in only one way, and that is the right way. If we try to do it if we try to modify the procedure, it will not work, or if there is an error that is made during the procedure, it will not work. So this is the mistake proofing of the operation, that no mistakes can complete the operation. If there is a mistake, the operation will not be completed. So the operation can be done only in one way, that is the right way. And the design experiment, it is the most important part of the improve step. So we have to design experiments in order to improve the step, in order to provide the solution for the given problem. After we are done with the design experiments and the confirmation experiments and all the related graphs, we come to the review step. We arrive at the toll gate, where the project manager or the assessor or evaluator will review and decide about the success of this step. So if he decides that all the objectives have been achieved which were desired for this step, he will let you move to the next step, which will be control. And the review is made on the basis of these questions. The educate Adequate documentation of how problem solution was obtained. Is it given or not? The documentation of alternative solutions are considered, means that what can be alternative solutions are those considered or not, because they can be helpful in next projects or the next improvement projects that can be taken up. The complete results of pilot tests, and including data display analysis, experiments, and simulation analysis. So means if we have all of these datas related with the tests and experiments are there or not, plans to complete the pilot test, results on a full scale basis. This should include uh, dealing with any regulatory requirements, which are FDA, OSHA, legal. Okay, these are the regulatory authorities which makes or which certify if the process is safe and useful or not, safe and lawful or not. So we have to comply with those also. And personal concerns such as additional training requirements or impact or other business standard practices. So all these things must be included after in the documentation of the improve step. And analysis of risks implementing the solution, and appropriate risk management plans. And if there are risks which we can anticipate in this project, if they exist, and yeah, if they exist, then what are the plans in order to manage those risks, how we can overcome those risks. So all of these things must be included in the improve step before we move towards the last step of the process, which is control. Okay, the control step is supposed to perform all the remaining work done in the project, like after the confirmation and testing everything, whatever is still missing, or whatever is required to be done before the confirmation of the potential of the given project for improvement of the existing system. We have to perform everything and then hand over the improved process to the owner. The owner means that who hired you to improve the currently existing system or the process in his company. So before we do that, we have to complete everything from our side, and then we pass on or hand over the improved project to the owner with a complete process control plan, that how the process will be controlled afterwards. So a process control plan is a system of monitoring the implemented solution, including methods, metrics for periodic auditing. Okay, so this is the process control plan, that you remember the control chart. We monitor the measurements if they are going out of the limits or staying close to our target value. So we monitor those values. Same thing is the here, in which we have to in which we must provide this information, that on what metrics the owner can later on audit the the performance of the process periodically. Periodically means after every certain period of time, maybe weekly or monthly basis. And the next thing that we need to prepare is the transition plan. After the process control plan, we have to make transition plan, and the transition plan is the plan how we will transit from the existing process to the new process or the improved process that we have devised. Okay, so in this transition plan, we must have a validation check that that will be for the next few months after the project completion. So this one, and we must have another plan which is out of control action plans, because during the transition from the existing system to a new system, or the existing process to a new process. During the transition, there, there can be some errors or some unexpected or unanticipated failures may occur. So in order to overcome that, and in order to respond to those failures, we must have an action plan that can help the transition process without an error. So if some failure occurs, we must have a plan how to tackle that. So to respond unanticipated failures during the transition procedure, if any failure happens, we must provide a plan to the owner that how to tackle that failure. Once all our plans are ready, we have to send our control, then we have to send all the information, all the plans to the owner. These include the before and after data of the key process metrics, operation and training documents, and updated current process maps. So we have to the information that we are delivering to them, together with the process control plan and the transition plan, must include these informations: before and after data of the key process metrics, means what was the performance before application and what is the uh, performance after the application of the improved system. Then operations and training documents, which will detail all the operations and all the required trainings for this improved process, and updated current process maps. So all of these things must be included in the document, which will be provided to the owner together with the process control plan and the transition plan. So at the end it will be reviewed uh, as the other steps, and the review will be done on the basis of these questions: that the data illustrating that the before and after results are in line with the project charter are available or not, and were the original objectives accomplished or not, and is the process control plan complete, are the procedures to monitor the process, such as control charts, in place? Is all the essential documentation of the process owner complete? A summary of lessons learned from the project should be available. A list of opportunities that are not pursued in the project should be prepared, because like in the previous one, what are the alternative approaches? So those can be useful for future development. Okay, that's why those if those are listed in the document, these can be helpful for the future. And a list of opportunities to use the result of the project in other parts of the business should also be prepared. So on the basis of these questions, the performance of control step will be evaluated, and once everything is fine, the documents and the improved process, together with the process control plan and the transition plan and all the necessary documentation, it will be handed over to the owner of the process who hired you or given you the assignment to provide them a solution to their problems for improving the efficiency or improving the existing system. That's all. Thank you very much.